Coming up on the Hilton Head News, statistics show if you're going to have a heart attack, you'll want to have it on Hilton Head Island. Fire Chief Lavarn Lucas explains. Also, the RBC Heritage Golf Tournament is getting closer. Want proof? Today was Media Day at Harbor Town Golf Links. Stand by, the Hilton Head News is next. Welcome to the Hilton Head News. I'm McNair. 2 out of 3 South Carolinians would support an armed police officer being placed in every state school, and many would pay more taxes to do that. That's according to the latest Winthrop poll. But 2 out of 3 South Carolinians surveyed by Winthrop oppose allowing teachers to carry guns in classrooms. Those poll results come as both the South Carolina House and State Senate are considering bills that would place a school resource officer in every school or allow teachers to carry concealed weapons on school grounds. Signs that the RBC Heritage Golf Tournament is getting closer. Monday was Media Day at Harbor Town Golf Links, and those who gathered there took some time to remember a special person connected with the tournament, Arnie Burdick, who passed away last year. Scotch was passed out and a toast was raised by members of the media remembering Arnie Burdick. The RBC Heritage is April 15th through the 21st. Members of the Rotary Club of Hilton Head Island gathered at the Coastal Discovery Museum at Honeyhorn Saturday after taking part in a service project known as Rotary ROCS, or Rotarians offering community service. Over 120 members took part in 11 community service projects across the island.
Rotary's motto is service above self, and you will find any Rotarian will devote himself any way possible to helping the community in which we live. And so having a community day where we could all be volunteering at the same time in all different places just gave us a sense of fellowship, doing service above self.
Among those who participated, Rotarians in their 90s. Longtime members Norm Reeves and Don Havlish said they opted for desk jobs this year. Saturday marked the 108th anniversary of Rotary International. Another Rotary club on Hilton Head Island was busy over the weekend. On Sunday, the Van Landingham Rotary held its 19th annual televised auction at the Westin. This year, funds were raised to assist Neighborhood Outreach Connection.
We felt that any project that we get involved in has to involve leverage and really has to affect a significant number of people. And NOC, with their virtual learning center project, is going to reach over 200 young people in this community, and that's very important to us.
Gullah Celebration Month continued on Hilton Head Island over the weekend. On Saturday, traditional foods were served at the Gullah Menwa Cook. WHHI got to the St. James Baptist Church Annex just before the serving got underway. Courtney Young says the event is about promoting the cooking traditions of the Gullah culture.
We have men of the Gullah culture that were up early this morning that were cooking all kinds of delectables and delights for the local community and our visiting friends to taste. So today is a tasting, and once the tasting is complete, you can purchase plates, or you can just come purchase plates to take home.
The Gullah celebration continues this upcoming weekend with the Gullah breakfast at the St. James Baptist Church Annex on Saturday, March 2nd, and that evening there'll be an oyster roast at Shelter Cove Community Park. Here's what's happening around the state. More than a year ago, South Carolina's Wildlife Agency gathered a team of scientists to study what could happen if temperatures in the state continue to warm. But that report has never been released. A draft of the committee's findings determined that if temperatures rise in the South by 9 degrees, as projected by some over the next 70 years, South Carolina would see more beach flooding and invasion of non-native species such as piranha and Asian swamp eels. That's according to a draft of the report obtained by the state newspaper. One scientist involved in the initial work on the report for the Department of Natural Resources says there were political concerns whether readers of the report would accept that global warming is happening and is a danger. But the new DNR director says the report needs more work before it's released. Well, if you have a gas-powered lawnmower, you can turn it in and get a discount on the purchase of an electric lawnmower. The State Department of Health and Environmental Control offers the annual exchange program. A department spokesperson says a gas-powered riding mower emits as much hourly air pollution as 34 cars. Lawnmowers collected at the event are recycled. Well, still ahead on the Hilton Head News, we'll talk with one of the many candidates running for the District 1 congressional seat in South Carolina, State Senator Larry GROOMS. And later, Fire Chief Lavarn lets us know what we can do to help save lives on Hilton Head Island.
The Hilton Head Humane Association is dedicated to providing a safe haven for cats and dogs, caring for 2,500 abandoned, injured, and abused animals in the past year alone. Visit hhhumane.org to see the current pets in need of forever homes, including this Pet of the Month, plus learn about upcoming adoption events and even donate online. You can also find them on Facebook, plus visit in person from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. Donate, adopt, volunteer, and make a difference at the Hilton Head Humane Association.
Charlie Clark joins me, Vice President of Communications for the Hilton Head Island Bluffton Chamber of Commerce. Hi, Charlie.
Hi, Allie. Great to be here.
Thanks for coming. You know, there's been a lot of focus recently on startups in the Low Country, especially in the area of technology. Can you speak to that?
Absolutely. You know, there are a lot of startups happening right here in the Low Country, and that follows a nationwide trend. Entrepreneurship really did survive the Great Recession. Believe it or not, entrepreneurship in our country is up a whopping 16%, the highest level it's ever been, quite frankly, over the years. So it did survive it well, especially among the age group, the 40 to 54-year-old age group. Those folks, as baby boomers age, are moving into entrepreneurial activities, as well as younger folks just coming out of college who potentially are having trouble getting a job. About 23% of those are deciding to go into business for themselves. That's happening everywhere, and it's happening in the Low Country too.
Now, we have in our area the Don Ryan Center for Innovation. What's its impact?
You know, it has a profound impact. The interesting thing about the Don Ryan Center for Innovation, which is located right here, is that it's one of the few incubators located in a smaller area, not a larger metropolitan area, which business experts are saying that's really the way to go. It's a groundswell and a grassroots effort. So this resource that we have right here is pretty phenomenal. They just started a series called the Third Tuesday of every month, where you can just go get great business ideas and get great advice on your ideas and your inventions and the potential of making those work.
And what about other upcoming events that are geared towards entrepreneurs?
Well, Jordan Berliner, who is the executive director for the Don Ryan Center for Innovation, is going to be talking with us on March 27th at our Bluffton Business Luncheon about what it means to have this resources in our community and how businesses, especially entrepreneurs and those deciding to start their own businesses, are making go of it here in the Low Country and doing it very successfully.
Well, Charlie Clark, Vice President of Communications for the Hilton Head Island Bluffton Chamber of Commerce. I know next week you're going to be bringing us highlights from the Business Expo. We appreciate your time.
It'll be a busy week for business. Thanks, Allie.
With the stories behind the headlines, Lynn Hummell joins me from the Hilton Head Sun. Hi, Lynn.
Hi, Allie. How are you?
Good, thanks. What's the latest with the flyover bridges to and from Hilton Head Island?
Well, just last week, what seemingly was a done deal is not so much a done deal. The flyover has lost the support of the Hilton Head Town Council. They voted 6-1 to withdraw its support for the flyovers after members of a group called Citizens to Stop the Flyover expressed concerns at last week's council meeting, calling it a monstrosity, among other things. Councilman Stu Rodman has an alternate plan for an intersection that he says will work just as well and look a lot better. Beaufort County Administrator Gary Kubik said that he was troubled with this development and he wanted to see the plans from the engineers that Rodman had consulted.
Now, I know the Beaufort County Council is meeting as we are airing here this week. They're meeting on Monday, February 25th. So people may have some word as far as what Beaufort County Council is going to do with this, right?
That's right. The County Council has the final say, and they may or may not go forward with the plan depending on what happens at the meeting tonight.
Now, 911 text messaging, that kind of system is back in the news again. What's up?
Beaufort County Emergency Management Department is hoping to upgrade its 911 system to include an option for text messaging. This would be helpful in a situation where a phone call is not possible, perhaps when a victim could not speak or when it might be safer to just be quiet. And the new system would also allow for transmission of photos and videos, either of a location where they are or of a crime in progress. The county is among the first local governments in South Carolina to pursue this kind of technology, and they're working with Hargray Communications on a fiber optics service that would make it possible.
Well, the RBC Heritage Golf Tournament, it's not that far away. Some of the area favorites have said they'll be here. Can you give us a rundown on who some of those folks are?
Sure. Well, of course, the last year's defending champion, Carl Pedersen, will be back. And also some of the people who are popular with fans. John Daly is one of them. Brian Gay, Zach Johnson, and Hunter Mahan last week said they would play. Now, Brian Gay is a former winner of the local event. He won in 2009 by 10 strokes, which broke the record that Davis Love III had set in 1998.
Well, I'm sure, Lynn Hummell, we will see you and folks from the Hilton Head Sun there. We thank you for your time here on the Hilton Head News.
Thank you, Allie.
Longtime State Senator Larry GROOMS joins me. He is running as a Republican. He is from Berkeley, and he's running for the 1st Congressional District seat. Senator GROOMS, thanks for joining us on the Hilton Head News.
Thanks for having me.
Well, as we head towards what may be sequestration at Congress, if nothing is done or settled, what are your thoughts?
Well, we have to cut somewhere. We all know that spending is a problem. I would rather the sequestration be altered in some way to protect our military, but if the leaders cannot come together, then we have to make the cuts. I hate that it has come to this, but that's where we are in political terms. But I would rather us do what's necessary to protect our military, to protect the interest of the United States, to protect our soldiers in foreign lands. But we have to cut somewhere. And if the sequestration is the only way, then that's the only way. But I think Congress deserves a shot at fixing the problem. And I'm running because I know I have the ability to make things happen and get things done. I've got a record in the South Carolina Senate of being able to move contentious bills forward. I've got over 10,000 conservative votes behind me. And so leadership is what we need in Washington right now.
You have received the endorsement of 2 South Carolinian Republican congressmen. Tell me who they are, and do you think when people are frustrated that not a lot's getting done in Congress that this is a good thing?
Well, it depends on what you want done in Congress. If you want continued spending, then you're probably not going to be for the sequestration. You're probably not going to be for cutting the budget. And 4 freshmen were elected from South Carolina 2 years ago. Tim Scott, Mick Mulvaney, Jeff Duncan, and Trey Gowdy. They became the nucleus of the conservative movement within the House of Representatives, the folks that are standing up to President Obama in the liberal agenda that he had. They're standing up to their own leadership by saying, let's don't go along with the increased spending. Well, Tim Scott was named by Nikki Haley to be our next U.S. Senator, and I'm glad that he is. He's a wonderful man, and he'll do our nation a great job. But there's a vacancy in the team. And so when 2 of those 3 are looking around at who's running, and they know just about all of us, they look to me. Representative Mulvaney asked me to run. Jeff Duncan asked me to consider it. I threw my name in the hat because they understand my leadership capabilities. They understand my heart. They know where I am. And they've seen me in action. They've seen me stand up to the leadership of the Republicans and the Democrats when it was necessary. I have voted against the last 10 budgets in South Carolina because of the waste, fraud, and abuse that I was able to point out. So I'm a rock-solid conservative. These guys know it. They understand it. That's why they asked me to run. That's why they endorsed me.
State Senator Larry GROOMS, thank you for joining us on the Hilton Head News. Primary day is March 19th. Now, when we come back, some statistics that will convince you if you're going to have a heart attack, you'll want to have it on Hilton Head Island. Stay right there.
Beaufort Town Center, the perfect place to live, work, play, and shop. Uniquely located on Boundary Street, Beaufort Town Center is adjacent to city and county government buildings at the entrance of Beaufort's Historic District. This new urban town center seamlessly blends lodging, office space, retail, restaurant, and residential sites with pristine views of the Intercoastal Waterway. Let the executives at Beaufort Town Center assist you with any of your real estate and leasing needs. Call today at 843-521-9000.
Head Island has been recognized as a heart-safe community. Recently, we had a chance to speak with Chief Lavarn Lucas about the reasons the island has been recognized as such. He gave us the latest statistics on the island's cardiac save rate. Now, that's the survival rate for people who went into cardiac arrest or ventricular fibrillation. Now, that's when someone has a severely abnormal heart rhythm, and that can be life-threatening.
Our cardiac save rate is phenomenal. If you look at the national averages, people who go into cardiac arrest or ventricular fibrillation have less than a 10% chance of survival. That's less than 1 in 10. The best EMS agencies in this country that participate in the CARES registry that monitors the statistics, save rate is in the 30 and 40%. Our save rate for all of 2012 has just come in, and we saved 72%, meaning 7 out of every 10 patients who went into cardiac arrest or had a shockable rhythm here on Hilton Head, 7 out of 10 of those walked out of the hospital on their own power, and that's phenomenal.
Chief Lucas spoke about the public's role in making Hilton Head Island a heart-safe community.
Well, a part of the recognition that we received has to do with our public education program, which is a part of our cardiac care program. We do a tremendous amount of CPR classes to the public at minimum cost. And if we are to be successful at resuscitating cardiac arrest patients, we have to have members of the public who will be on scene before we do, in a position to be able to do CPR and do quality CPR. And so we have to train the public, and that's been a big part of what we have done for years.
How good do you feel, I don't mean to interrupt, but how good do you feel knowing that you're educating members of the community in an instance where they may be able to save lives?
Well, it's a wonderful feeling for us to be able to do that, and it's especially important on Hilton Head. It's a retirement community, so our rates of these kind of emergencies are fairly high, but we're also a tourist destination. And so most of the people who will be around somebody when they go into cardiac arrest may not be from here. So we really need to train more of our current local residents to be able to provide that. The other aspect of it, though, on the public education side is AEDs, automatic external defibrillators. We have a very strong active program of getting these devices out into the public and helping the public with the purchase and the maintenance of these devices. Because again, if we're going to be successful, we need the public to be able to do CPR before we arrive, but we need that AED there as well so they can put it on the patient, and in some cases have the patient's heart beating again before we ever arrive.
What else is really important for people to know?
Convince your family, convince your friends, convince the people that you work with to have CPR, to know and understand it. Have the people in your office or whatever, have everybody trained. You never know whether this is going to happen there in your work, in the workplace, or at home, or out on the street somewhere. And if you are at a place that has a lot of people that congregate, churches, motels, any of those kind of places, let's get AEDs in those places so they are available when somebody needs them.
Nancy Watts joins us to tell us where to go on Hilton Head Island. Hi, Nancy.
Hi there. It's good to be here, Allie.
Well, I know you've got some wine tasting ideas this week.
Well, I have. It's been a little rainy and soggy, and it's time for us to get out there and drink a little wine and enjoy the day.
And where can we go, and what are some good ideas for us?
Island Winery they start at 12 o'clock. You don't need to be drinking wine before 12 o'clock anyway, but I think they start about 12:30, from 12:30 to 3:30, and they do flights. Now, you know, a flight is 3 different wines, and 3 different glasses, and then you taste, and they have little cheese and crackers and things that you can enjoy with that. They do that till 2:30, and then at 4, they have their happy hour, so go again. And the latest thing is barrel tasting. Have you ever been to a barrel tasting?
Have not done that, Nancy.
Well, we were, it's kind of a joke among our little wino group that we were at a barrel tasting, and I think maybe we might have had imbibed a little bit too much, and we ended up buying a whole barrel.
Oh.
Nevertheless, we didn't do that here. We did that out in Napa. But nevertheless, if you go to a barrel tasting, they dip in there and you have a taste of the wine. And it's not quite ready most of the time, but it sounds like a really fun thing because you could just
kind of preview those wines.
Preview those wines, and maybe you could buy a future in that wine, and who knows? They've just got all kinds of good things.
Now, Dixieland Jazz, if people are a fan of that style of music, there's somewhere they can go to listen to it, right?
And they have a good time. You just go in and you think that they don't have a plan, but actually they do. They have sets, and their friends come in and they sing and they dance and they have a good time.
And that's at the Jazz Club, right?
That's at the Jazz Corner. It's over in the village at Wexford. And I know I got a call, would you believe, last Sunday. And somebody said, this man said, where is the Jazz Corner? And so I told him. And he said, well, can we just go? I said, you certainly can. And I think you'll really enjoy it.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun ideas. As always, Nancy Watts, we want to thank you for joining us on the Hilton Head News.
I'm always glad to be here.
And we want to thank you for watching. I'm Allie McNair for all of us at WHHI-TV. Have a great week.